What's up, witches? My name is Taylor, and I'm the Tempest Witch here on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the holiday Beltane, which occurs on May 1st, so some people call it May Day. In the pagan community, is generally accepted as Beltane. So, what is Beltane? Beltane, being May Day, is the halfway mark in between the vernal equinox, which was back on Ostara, between midsummer, which is the summer solstice over on Letha. So we're in the halfway point. Things are finally starting to wake up and things are getting green. At least in most places. There's still been snow on and off in Wisconsin because we live by the north. Figured we would go through and just give you some general ideas of what this day is about. Let's start with the fun stuff. May Day originally was the day of marriage. So back in the olden country, you would get together with all of your friends and the whole township would come together as couples. And on that day, you would decide if you were going to stay with your partner for the next year or if you were going to break it off and find a new partner. So this day is very much surrounding like marriage, mingling, sex, and just the connection between humans. So that's pretty cool. It's not really the same thing nowadays because there's lots of taboos and all of that, but no one's saying you can't. Do your thing. Let's start with symbols. Symbols of May Day, Beltane, whatever you would like. Easiest off the top is fire. This is the day where the sun is coming back. You can see it easier in the day. The days are longer. You're symbolizing the rekindling of either an old flame, a new flame. It's all very symbolic. So, fire in the form of candles or bonfires or any other form that you would like is a great thing for today. Hawthorn is also really big on today, and it is considered only lucky on Beltane. So, you have hawthorn growing around you. We'll get to it later, but you can actually make wine with hawthorn berries. Project idea. Flower crowns are really big today, so I'm sure you've seen all sorts of things. If you don't know how to make a flower crown, go to Pinterest. People make really intricate things on there that I'm just like, how did you do this? Fabulous. So if you have flowers growing outside, you live a little bit more south than Wisconsin, you'll probably have flowers outside. Make yourself a flower crown. Just because. Colors for today would be green, white, red, and silver. So you're representing energy and the growing of new life in the green and the passion of love and sex, which is red, and then silver just because it's a plentiful day. And lastly, this is a major fertility holiday. So if you're doing any kind of fertility magic, today would be a great day to do that. This is also why the tree birch is really big today because birch is symbolically very keen on fertility, so something to keep in mind. Use it to decorate your altar and your house or whatnot. Gone through the symbols, let's go into customs and traditions because this is where the fun stuff lies. First off, as I mentioned earlier, today is a day of hand fasting. It's a day of weddings, it's a day of celebration. So as I said before, traditionally all of the village would get together and the couples that over the year decided they were going to be together come together and they get a big old party for everyone and you just create your marriage during that. Because it's a very modern gimmick that you have to get married by a priest or a pastor. There wasn't usually a priest or a pastor anywhere near your villages, so you just all collectively waited for a singular day where the priest would come into town and marry every single person. And so we don't really do that anymore. It's very, this is my day, mine alone. But it wasn't always like that. This is also where the idea of jumping the broomstick comes from. Traditionally, to be able to finalize your marriage, you would ceremoniously jump over a broomstick. Proper. You would ceremoniously jump over a broomstick together, and that would be the signifier of you officially being married. So, if you feel like being traditional whenever you get married, even if it's not on Beltane, you can absolutely jump over a broomstick. That's what my in-laws did. I'm sure you've heard of a Maying, but you might not know what that is. This goes into the fertility aspect of this holiday. A Maying is when couples would link arms and go and hide into the woods and have sex all night and then come back with a flower bouquet as signifying that you copulated. So happy for you. So if you want to go have sex out in the woods, be safe. Do your thing. No judgment. A little less sex idea, but still having the symbolism is you can have a maypole. So it's a very large pole, it has ribbons wrapped around it, and then people traditionally will dance around it holding onto the ribbons that weaves it. It's a phallic symbol, and the ribbons are not, and they wrap around. You see where it's going. Everyone's been obsessed with sex their entirety of human existence. We haven't gotten any better. Something that's become a thing popularized recently is a wish box. So this is just a cardboard box that you put seeds and intentions and gifts for the earth into it, and then you just bury it, or you leave it in a closet to come back later when the harvest season is over. Just kind of as the sun came back. Let's celebrate type thing. Nah, I was wrong. You bury the box in the ground. I was right the first time. And then, as I mentioned before, hawthorn is really lucky on today, so making hawthorn wine or hawthorn brandy, you just soak the berries and the flowers in either brandy or wine for, a week or two, and then you have hawthorn brandy or wine, which is really good. So, if you feel like being a little bit of a kitchen witch, that's a really good thing to start, because making flavored spirits is one of the easiest things you can do as a kitchen witch, so have some fun with it. And finally, just a couple ideas for your altar. If you have an altar or you'd like to decorate your house, here are just a couple symbols that represent Beltane as a whole. Flowers, flowers, and more flowers. It is traditionally when you would have weddings, you would have tons of flowers, lots of bouquets everywhere. If you live in the north like I do, lots of things aren't quite blooming yet, but if you live even a state lower, I see you guys have tons of flowers and foliage everywhere, so happy for you. Take advantage of it, especially for us up here that are waiting desperately for it. Birch bark, birch branches, logs, anything you can get your hands on, really good for a fertility holiday. Tall candles, daisy or daffodil or dandelion chains are really good for today. Same thing with flower crowns as we were saying before. Just go on Pinterest, try cool designs, some rocks for today. Sapphires, bloodstones, emeralds, orange carnelians, and rose quartz. All for happiness, prosperity, fertility, abundance, all of that. Animals for today would be like goats, rabbits, and honeybees. I saw a honeybee earlier today. We helped her get out of a little window. And finally, some incense you can burn. Anything floral, so rose, jasmine, passion flower, vanilla, lilac, stuff like that. Alright guys, I hope this left you with some ideas that you can use to celebrate Beltane for yourselves. As always, if you're not comfortable with performing any kinds of sexual magic, anything for today, that's totally fine. Always remain within your comfort zone. Don't let anyone get you outside of your comfort zone. But it's not necessarily only a sex holiday. Fertility can also be used for plants or animals. So if you want to go visit a farm, this is usually the time where cows are calving and there are ewes out. If you just go, hey, I want to pet a baby cow for a little bit, farmers will usually let you do that. Also, if you are into gardening, this is about when your seeds and all of your seedlings are starting to get kind of getting going, having a good time. So you can just celebrate that life is coming back. Things are starting to be green outside again, and that's really exciting after a long, harsh winter. So, yes, it is a fertility holiday, but it's not necessarily entirely subjected to human fertility, so just keep that in mind. Above all else, always stay within your comfort zone, have a good time, and go celebrate. Start some shit on fire. Well, until next time, skull, my friends.